Picture two apartments in the same city on the same street with nearly identical monthly rent. The first apartment belongs to someone earning $95,000 per year. Walk inside and you are greeted by a 75-inch television bolted to the wall. A leather sectional that cost $4,000 dominates the living room. The kitchen counters hold appliances still sealed in their original boxes. A stand mixer never used, an air fryer still wrapped in plastic. The bedroom closets overflow with clothes, many of them dangling with price tags that have never been cut off. A spare bedroom, intended for guests or a home office, has been converted into a storage unit for items that have not been touched in years. There is a treadmill used twice, a guitar with no strings, and boxes of books that will never be opened again. The person who lives here checks their bank account with a knot in their stomach. They know, with a quiet dread, that they are 2 missed paychecks away from a full-scale crisis. Their income is impressive, but their financial foundation is made of sand. Everything they own looks successful. Nothing they own actually provides security. Now, walk into the second apartment. Same city, same neighborhood, comparable rent. This apartment belongs to someone earning $52,000 per year, almost half of the first person's income, but the interior tells a completely different story. There is a modest couch, comfortable but not extravagant. A reasonably sized television hangs on the wall, purchased 3 years ago and still functioning perfectly. The kitchen contains exactly the tools that get used on a regular basis. One good knife, one cast iron pan, a single set of dishes. Nothing sits in boxes. The closet holds clothes that actually get worn, organized by season with no forgotten items buried in the back. The spare bedroom is not a graveyard of abandoned purchases. It is an actual bedroom, a quiet space with a bed, a lamp, and nothing more. When this person checks their bank account, there is no knot in their stomach. There is calm confidence. They have 18 months of living expenses saved in a high-yield account. Every paycheck sees 20% automatically transferred to investments. They earn far less than their neighbor, yet they have roughly 10 times the financial security. The difference is not income. The difference is a hidden relationship between stuff and money that most people never stop to examine. This is not a story about how much money comes in. It is a story about where money goes and, more importantly, what money buys besides objects. The first person, earning $95,000, is not visibly irresponsible. They do not gamble. They do not have expensive addictions. They do not buy luxury cars or take lavish vacations. What they did was far more common and far more insidious. They gradually accumulated a lifestyle that requires every single dollar they earn just to maintain it. Each new purchase raised their baseline expenses. The large television increased their electricity bill and required a larger entertainment center. The leather sectional demanded special cleaning products and took up space that could have been used for something else. The unused appliances still cost money. They occupy square footage that is paid for every month in rent. The clothes with tags represent hundreds of dollars that could have been invested, but instead hang motionless in a closet. The first person is trapped in a cycle that feels like normal life. They are not making terrible decisions. They are making millions of tiny decisions that each seem harmless, but together form a cage. The second person discovered something that changed everything. Owning less does not mean living worse. It means living deliberately. And deliberate living creates a financial margin that most high earners never experience, regardless of their salary. Every object you own costs you money twice. The first cost is obvious. It is the purchase price, the number printed on the receipt, the total at the checkout screen, the monthly payment if you financed. Everyone understands this cost because it is immediate and visible, but there is a second cost that almost everyone ignores, and it is often larger than the first. The second cost includes 4 elements that never appear on a price tag. First, storage. Every item you own requires physical space, and space is not free. Whether you rent or own, you pay a certain amount per square foot each month. Second, maintenance. Objects break, get dirty, lose calibration, need repairs, and require ongoing attention. Third, mental energy. Every possession occupies a small slice of your attention. It must be cleaned, organized, insured, worried about, and eventually disposed of. Fourth, opportunity cost. Every dollar locked up in a physical object is a dollar that is not invested, not growing, not working for your future freedom. When you add these 4 hidden costs together, many possessions end up costing more to own than they originally cost to buy. The purchase price is merely the entry fee. The ongoing costs continue for as long as you possess the item. Minimalists understand this instinctively. They are not avoiding nice things because they hate comfort. They are avoiding possessions because they have calculated the true lifetime cost and decided that most things are not worth it. Take a treadmill as an example. The purchase price might be $800 or $1,500, but the second cost begins the moment you bring it inside. A treadmill takes up roughly 20 square feet of floor space when you account for the machine itself plus the clearance needed to use it safely. In most urban areas, the implicit annual rent for that space ranges from $30 to $50 per square foot. That means you are paying $600 to $1,000 every single year just to store the treadmill, even if you never walk on it. And most treadmills eventually become very expensive clothing racks. Now, consider a boat. A $30,000 boat seems like a luxury purchase, but the second cost is staggering. The industry rule of thumb says annual maintenance runs about 10% of the boat's value, $3,000 per year for winterization, cleaning, registration, insurance, and repairs. That is $3,000 annually, regardless of how many times you take it on the water. Storage adds another $1,000 to $2,000 if you do not have a driveway or garage. Then there is the multiplier effect. A boat requires a trailer, a hitch-equipped vehicle, safety equipment, and often special clothing. Within 3 years of ownership, the second cost alone can exceed the original purchase price. The treadmill and the boat are not isolated examples. Every possession in your home follows the same logic. The difference is that most people never run the numbers. They see the purchase price and stop there, unaware that the real expense is just beginning. The second cost includes something that cannot be measured in dollars but affects every aspect of your life: mental energy. Researchers have found that visual clutter raises cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and reduces the brain's ability to focus on complex tasks. When you walk into a room filled with unused items, partially completed projects, and possessions that have no clear purpose, your brain is constantly processing that chaos. You do not consciously feel it, but the drag on your attention is real. Every item you own requires decisions. Where does it go? How often does it need cleaning? Do I need to insure it? What if it breaks? When will I finally use it? These micro decisions accumulate throughout the day, leaving you with less energy for work, relationships, and rest. Modest earners riding the virtuous cycle build everything. The person earning $52,000 with 18 months of savings is not special. They simply gained clarity about what actually matters, and they let that clarity guide every decision. The other person, earning $95,000 and living 2 paychecks from crisis, never questioned the assumption that more stuff equals a better life. Both lifestyles are available to you. The math strongly favors the first option. So does the peace of mind.